That's all right. We'll just go. We'll just.
Come on, girls.
30 seconds.
And here we are, the next clash. Under lights here in Gbk rugby pitch. India versus UAE in the women's pool. UAE will be kicking off from left to right of your screen in the white jersey with the green, red and black splashes, against India on the right of your screen in their blue jerseys. Referee blows time on. A nice high kick there to get us started from UAE. Knock back from India. Great reflexes there. India with the first opportunity here from their own 22. Let's see what they can do with the ball. They spread it out early. They see a small opportunity here down the wing, down the left-hand side. Pulled back there in good defense from UAE. But it's a penalty to the UAE for not releasing India there. UAE have opted for the scrum. They might have a set play in mind here.
Solid scrum, solid scrum.
Some big tall girls from the UAE team. We'll have UAE to feed the scrum. Then number 5, Eve Robinson.
Crouch!
Come on, girls.
5! Set!
Scrum win there for UAE.
Good job, Tara.
Ball inside there for the big number 8. Big Tara Cooney. UAE on the halfway line, still with the ball. Good defense there from India. And that's great hit from India. UAE coughing up the ball. That's big Fahbiz there for India. India choose to go on the blind side. They have the numbers, but what can they do with the ball? She gets it away. It's been knocked on and the referee has called it up. There's an India player down there. Some concern shown here for the India player.
Great work, girls!
Looks like it's starting to rain here in Jakarta with some drops starting to come down. Seems like the India player is okay now. She's up and running.
It's all right.
and the rain is starting to fall a little bit heavier. The referee doesn't like something here.
Gimana? Oh, sorry. Ada plastik di atas.
I think India wanted to change that
Taruhnya di mana?
player that had that head concern. Now we can get underway again. The scrum feed for UAE.
Big push! Go UAE! Our ball! Keep it! Push!
Big push there from India, but UAE hold them off. And it's a penalty now to India. Offside from UAE. Vahbiz was thinking about taking the quick tap. India now. Vahbiz with the ball. She decides to straighten up and run it up, making a good 5 meters. India on the attack. That's a good run from number 12, Komti. Another penalty there for India. Referee playing advantage.
Keep it up! 6 tackles!
India spread it wide early. India with the ball. That's a cutout pass. It's a good one. India. It's great defense there. And that's another penalty, this time for a high tackle or high contact. India is on the attack.
Mas Tejo,
Pop up the
buat
ball
sama
on the
bawah ya.
inside. It's still India. And they go into touch.
Move on, lady!
Some good scrambling defense there from the UAE. Quick line outs. That's Cooney taking up the ball.
What was the number just now before this for the India? The one that came out. Yeah, the one injured. The number?
The score is still 0-0 here, with half-time looming. Both sides struggling to break free. India with the scrum feed. India takes up the ball. There's a huge gap in the middle. And will India score? They're 1 meter out. That's great defense from UAE. And that's a penalty to India. Hands in the ruck there from UAE. India with a quick tap and go. Steps back in the middle, and that's try time for India. That's a great try.
Water, guys, water.
India break the deadlock late in the first half. It is now 5-0 to India over UAE. The conversion is successful, taking the score now to India 7, UAE 0. India to get us started again. Some scrappy ball there from the UAE. It's been knocked forward by UAE. Now India had the chance to get the ball back, but now the ball is back with the UAE, and the referee will call up and knock on. Knock-ons from both sides there. India. Scrum feed for India now. referee wants that again.
Get the boot. Boot. Doesn't know what a boot is. Let's go.
Free kick to India. Free kick to the UAE. Infringement there from the India team. That's a great tackle. But she's offside. Oh, high tackle there, high contact. UAE on the run.
Go, Holly, stay out. Holly.
Working the short side here. It's UAE still with the ball. It's Big Tara Cooney over the top there. That's a great hit from India.
Go, Jay.
But UAE manages to get the ball away. And that's another great cover tackle from India, just outside their 22. Not releasing the ball, penalty to India as the halftime siren has sounded. India with one last chance to put some more points on the board before the halftime break. And that's another penalty to India. Not rolling away, says the referee. And India will now put it out of touch to call an end to the first half. India with a slim lead here, 1-0, with the conversion successful. India 7, UAE 0. And ready for the second half here in the clash between India and the UAE. India holding on to a 7-0 lead over UAE. Referee blows time on for the second half. That's a good kick there from India. UAE taps it back. And that's a knock-on from the UAE. This is a great opportunity here for India. They find themselves with a scrum feed on the 22. What can they come up with? 22 meters out, 5 in from touch. As the rain comes down here in Jakarta, making conditions a little bit more difficult for the players. That's a good scrum from both teams, but the referee doesn't like the feed. They'll redo the scrum with a feed for the UAE. We have a replacement now for India. Number 8, Ramnik Kaur, running onto the field. Nice little pop pass there from UAE in their 22, but it's a penalty to UAE. India not rolling away. A quick tap from UAE. That's their number 6 there, Hannah Underhill, with a great run. And now UAE are attacking from deep within their own half. And the referee blows up a knock on. Scrum feed to India. Conditions now are really telling and challenging for both teams as the rain comes down here in Jakarta. Time off for a replacement for India. Great pictures here of the scrum. And that's a free kick to India. India will take the quick tap, and they're off again. India put in the small grubber kick. There's no one there. The chase is on. And UAE safely ground the ball in their own dead ball line. But the referee says it was brought back into the dead ball, hence a scrum now with the India feed, only 5 meters out from the try line. Can India capitalize on this situation and take the lead out to 12-0? India with the feed. It's a good scrum win for India. It's a nice pop pass for their number 6 for India. Sandhya Ray for India. That's a great team try from India there. Off the base of the scrum, Sandhya Ray in for a try. India out to a 12-0 lead. Sandhya attempting to convert her own try. And she is successful. India now 14, UAE 0. Once again, looking at the replay there, great footwork from Sandhya Ray. And just to add, Sandhya Ray is one of the Asia's rugby's unstoppable representatives. So doing a lot of work on and off the field there, Sandhya. Well done. UAE now with the ball, deep in their half. And that's great defense from India. And there's been a head clash. There's been a head clash here. The UAE player is down, number 10, Robin Etherington. But that was great defense from India. As we get the medics out there. Concerns for a head injury here.
To the forwards and you go center. Just get that.
There's India's number 7 there on the picture, Dumuni, who made that big tackle. Great shot there from Dumuni. Vahbis and the referee there having a nice conversation, probably clarifying a few things. The score remains India 14, UAE 0.
Now bring it off.
Well, she seems to be standing up okay now, but I'm just wondering whether or not, you know, for safety reasons, they want to take her off. Yes, she will be assessed further, so she needs to be replaced. Scrum. Scrum now with a UAE feed.
Tara's gone to the front, Holly's gone into centre. You alright? Is that on it? Brent, is that not a head contact? Don't mind.
Time on from the referee.
Ben, is that not a head contact in here? Isn't that not a head contact in here?
It's a good feed from UAE. They win the scrum. UAE pops the ball up, and that's more good defense there from the Indians. But the referee has pulled something up. It's offside from India. That's Big Cooney there. Big Tara Cooney taking the ball up for the UAE, supported by her number 12, Catherine McClay. It's the UAE now using the ball, spreading it out to the right. She gets the ball away, but it is forward. Forward pass from the UAE, and that will be a scrum feed to India. Not long to go now in the match, probably only 90 seconds away from full time. India clinging on to a 14-0 lead. And the referee calls time off again for a substitution for India. India with the scrum feed and win. Some nice movement there from India, but she's going across field. Someone needs to straighten up, and the ball has been knocked down by UAE. That is an intentional knock on, and it's a sin bin. So in the dying minutes of the game, UAE are down to 6 players. India have the chance to capitalize on this. It's number 6 for India, Sandhya Ray, the previous try scorer. Now India work the ball. It's Big Vahbiz. Vahbiz with a crash ball. India now spreading it to the left, using their speed, and she's cut through the middle of them. She didn't need her team player. No, she's going all the way. It's try time. Was it short of the line? I think the referee has called a penalty try. Yes, he has, and it's another yellow card for UAE. And that's the end of the game. India coming out victors over UAE in what was a tough battle through the middle, but the girls from India have come up victors. So 7 points straight away. So just to confirm there, in the dying seconds of that clash between India and UAE, the referee awarded a penalty try, hence 7 points more for India. Great game.
Sure.